Rashi asks a big question. And his question is as simple as it is profound. If your child has committed a grave, grave error, a real big aveira, a serious sin, there's a mitzvah to educate your child. There's a mitzvah for every Jew. As the Rambam discusses at length in Hilchos Deis, Perek Vav, it's a mitzvah to talk to somebody, to confront mistakes, to confront wrongdoings, not to be tolerant of negativity, of behavior that is immoral, unethical, against the will of Hashem. When do you talk about it? You talk about it after it happened. So Rashi asks a question. Reuven committed something that certainly relative to his level was inappropriate. The pasuk says in Vayishlach, after Rachel passed away, Vayelech Reuven. Reuven went, and as Chazal say, he interfered into the private life of Yaakov. He took Yaakov's bed outside of Bilhah's tent and he put it in Leah's tent because he felt that it was so painful for Leah that after Rachel's death, Yaakov should move his bed into Bilhah's tent, who was Rachel's maid. When did Yaakov decide to talk to Reuven about this? And the answer is on his deathbed. You know how many years transpired between the event and Yaakov addressing the event? 47 years. Yaakov passed away at 147. This happened when Yaakov was approximately 100 after Rachel's passing. A half a century, Yaakov didn't say a word. Asks Rashi, why? Why? And you know what Rashi's answer is in the beginning of Parshas Dvarim? Unbelievable. Yaakov said, if I talk to Reuven about what he did earlier, I am afraid Shema Yelech v'yidbak be'esav ochi. Reuven is going to say, bye-bye, Tati, bye-bye. I'm going to Esav. I have a Mizrach seat by Esav. I'm going to get Shlishi, Shishi, Mafter Yoina, guest of honor. I could be Rosh Yeshiva by Esav. So Yaakov was quiet for 50 years, not saying a word to Reuven because he felt that if he says this to Reuven, he's going to lose the boy. He's going to go to Esav. Who is he? He's not going to go to another yeshiva. He's not going to go to another Rebbe. He's not going to go to another kollel. He's not going to go to another community. He's going to go to Esav. Reuven is going to go to Esav. So Yaakov decided, I'm not saying a word. So somebody asked me, this is what Rashi says in the beginning of Dvarim. He quotes it from Medrash Rabbah Dvarim. So somebody asked me a question. He said, Rabbi, why? I don't understand. When Yaakov says it at his deathbed, Reuven could also go to Esav. Just like he didn't want to say it earlier. So when he says it at the end of his life and he tells Reuven, as he does in Parshas Vayichi, we read it yesterday, Reuven, you were preeminent, you were the oldest. But you were impetuous like water, and therefore you lost these great privileges because of what you did. You violated the intimates, the privacy of your father. Now he can also run away to Esav. He can also run away. So somebody in Shul said, at this point, Reuven was already an elderly man. He had girls in seminary. He had Einiklach to marry off. Well, he's going to go run to Esav. Okay, cute. But what's the real answer? The real answer, I think, is very, very simple and very profound. When Yaakov called over his son Reuven to his bed, and he said, Reuven, I want to talk about what happened 50 years ago. And Reuven thought to himself, Ribono Shalayla, my father was quiet for 50 years. He did not say a word to me. Why? Why? Because he felt that this may compromise our relationship. This may make me feel dejected. I don't belong in this family. I'll have a much easier life by Esav. I'll have a much more luxurious and I'll have much more respect and love by Esav. And therefore, he was silent 50 years about something that touched him at the core of his heart. When you realize that this is the father you have, you don't leave such a father. When you realize this is your father, like Yehuda said about Binyamin and Yaakov, you don't leave such a father. Such a father you don't leave. And I think that this captures the essence of what so many of us need to understand so desperately. All teichicha in the world, all chastisement in the world, all education in the world, all musar in the world, as beautiful, as holy, as vital, as important, as sacred, as divine as it is. The Yesod HaYesod is the foundation underlying everything is attachment, connection. V'nafsho kshura b'nafsha. And if there's a percent chance that as a result of your words, you're not going to build your child, you're going to alienate your child, he's going to run to Esav, then Yaakov says, be quiet for 50 years. But it's hard. It's hard. We have strong values. Yaakov also had strong values, stronger than me. He was one of the Merkava, in Merkava. The Medrash says, Bachur Shabavos. He was quiet, not for a year. He was quiet for 50 years. Not because he forgot. He spoke about it. And then he spoke to Shimon and Levi also. Words that he never told them before. Words that he never told them before. He said it right before he passed away because he felt that they had to be aware of it. But they had to know how much he loved them, how much he cherished them, how proud he was of them, how connected he was with them. That changes everything. We live in a time that this truth is emerging more and more every single day between parents and children, between Rabbis, between teachers and students, boys and girls, young and old. When there's connection, all good things could happen. When there's disconnection, the most amazing ideas and most religious incentives and obligations ultimately can chas v'shalom be counterproductive.